Alrighty, everybody. How are we doing today? This is, of course, your boy Bernie here on the charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your Wednesday or Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night for most people. I'm not sure why I said afternoon, but hopefully, you guys are enjoying your time. Of course, this is your boy Bernie here, giving it to you live here on the charge. And we'll have a little bit of background music as we wait for more people to join in. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying, like I said, your Tuesday afternoon. If I didn't already say that once, I'll say it again. But anyway, guys, today we got, a little bit something different. It is basketball related to the NBA in some sense, right? We're going to be talking about basketball news and rumors and also NBA opinions as well today. Without any NBA, and I'll kind of preface this before we go into our subject, and if you guys haven't already, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you are Gonzaga fans, if you're a fan of Corey Kispert, excuse me, people keep correcting me, so I just want to make sure I say it right, Kispert. Like I said, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and of course, we will talk about this whole ordeal as it pertains to what is going on with the Gonzaga Bulldogs. But like I said, before we talk about that, like I said, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and let's get right into it. So our first story of the day, of course, we talk about Gonzaga, but let me preface it with this. The best thing about the All-Star game, kind of where it's at right now, is the fact that we can kind of skip a little bit of the NBA, have a little break from it, and me as a basketball nerd, I'll watch basically any type of tournament basketball style, whether it's little league or whether it's pee-wees or whether it's up to these like conferences. And of course, we do have to talk about these conferences that we will kind of talk about in a second. Just want to make sure that the stream is good and set. Let me just double check my live settings, see if we are good. Looks like everything is good on my end. And again, like I said, we'll have a little bit of background music for now, but let's stop it. We'll kind of go into talking about what is going on in the NCAA tournament. And of course, guys, we are here looking at today's tournament schedules. Of course, we had the championship in the Colonial Division with Drexel beating Elon. I was kind of interested in watching Elon because I did watch him yesterday. I was watching the Colonial Championship. I was kind of watching them and just kind of looking at it. So excuse me as the power just officially died in my headphones here. But I was looking at the championship round, I would say, of that Colonial Championship, Drexel and Elon, with Drexel winning. Again, a great finish, and Elon, I thought they could do it as the number 8 seed, but unfortunately, they just fell a little bit short. The Horizon League, of course, we have Cleveland State going into the having their ticket punched. Next one is the NEC Championship with St. Mary winning against Bryant. Unfortunately, Bryant has never made the tournament. They were the number 2 seed and ultimately lost to Mount St. Mary, who made the tournament in 2017. So I do feel sorry for that team because, Bryant, played well this season, got the number 2 seed, got in the position that they needed to, but ultimately just didn't get the job done. So unfortunate for Bryant to not win that. And then we'll go to the Summit Division where we had North Dakota State and Oral Roberts. This was a close one. I believe Oral Roberts was up by 20-something points at the beginning, and then North Dakota State tried to come back, but ultimately fell 3 points short in their conquest or in their quest to get a NCAA championship bid. So again, we have Oral Roberts, Mount St. Mary's, Cleveland State, and Drexel officially punching their ticket in to the NCAA tournament. Now, of course, the one that we all kind of expected was the Gonzaga BYU game. These two guys have always played each other, it seems like, in the last couple of years. BYU plays some amazing offense. I like the way that they play, especially last year where they had that big fella and also the dude with the receding hairline. But he's good, man. I can't deny it. So I wasn't really sure what to make of this BYU team. It's definitely a different team. The offenses ran a little bit different than what I'm used to. But at the end of the day, we saw a pretty good game up and towards like the final little couple minutes of the game. At one point BYU was up by like, I believe 12 points or something like that. They were up by a lot. That seemed like they had the momentum on their side. In the first half, they were shooting 70% from the 70% from the 3-point land. You thought BYU had it in the bag. You thought that even if they regress a little bit, they'll be able to compete and still contend. But ultimately, that was not the case, as Corey Kispert, hopefully I'm saying that right for my people that keep correcting me, Kispert And, especially me, I was very critical of Jalen Suggs in the first half. I know he had 15, but it was a very quiet 15 in my opinion. Or maybe he didn't have 15 at the half. But it definitely was a quiet a night for Jalen Suggs. But he finally came off, finally did his thing, and got you 23 points. Kispert. Okay, there you go. Kispert. Thank you, Sean, for correcting me there. Kispert. But Jalen Suggs did his thing in the second half. You saw him respond. Obviously, I'm not going to take credit for anything like that, but I saw Jalen Suggs respond in a tremendous way. He attacked the basket, kiss off the glass, doing all these different types of maneuvers, and you saw a guy that was really wanting to win the championship. Another player that you could also is Kispert as well, is giving you 17. Really did some damage in that second half at the beginning of it to get them back into the game. I believe at one point they were only down 2, and then BYU took a little bit of that lead back, but then ultimately Jalen Suggs took over and really did some damage. Also, again, you have Ayayi as well, getting you 18, and then you got Nembhard getting you 13, and of course Drew Timme getting you 14. So it was a total team effort with only 2 guys coming off the bench for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. And again, BYU has always lost to Gonzaga. They're 0-6 against them. And, they always thought that they could get to this point where they could finally get over the hump. But unfortunately, that just was not the case, as Gonzaga, like I said, overcame the odds, came back and won against BYU. And as you can look by the sort of score, the 3-point shot really fell for them in that second half, 11 for 28. Meanwhile, Gonzaga came back and went 12 for 26. So about the same amount of threes. And I'll show you in a second, Sean. I'll show the highlights in just 1 second to kind of talk about this. But I really just want to talk about the Bulldogs first and just kind of what they had to do to overcome everything. Excuse me as I'm congested. I'm, kind of stuffy, allergy season. Anybody that has those allergies, you know what I'm talking about. When I really look at this stuff, when I really see that the Gonzaga Bulldogs, like I said, they were down by a lot. It seemed like Drew Timme was, didn't really make much of a difference, but then he started to come back alive. And then you kind of saw that the BYU team kind of was a little bit hesitant in the way that they were shooting the rock. I felt like they could have done a little bit better job. Their guy, Nell, the guard off the bench, getting you 20. I mean, that's pretty good. But, Launer, I can't remember how you pronounce his name, getting you basically goose eggs. I mean, I'm not sure if that's really his strength, but still, averaging 7.3 points per game, holding to 0 points. I mean, that's got to tell you something about his offensive contribution tonight. It just wasn't there. And it's not good at all. You expect him as one of your, as a freshman, you expect him to kind of step up and actually do some things. So a little bit disappointed in him. I thought he could have done a little bit better job, but ultimately they were left short as Caleb Lohner just basically gave you goose eggs in that whole game. And, as a starter, I know he didn't shoot very much. I know he's not like the guy that shoots a lot, but 0 of 2, getting you nothing, a turnover, that's not going to cut it. I know he had the 10 rebounds, but that's just not going to cut it. But who are we kidding? We're here to look at the highlights. So let's move on to the highlights really quick, and I'll make sure this is on mute so we don't get in trouble. Again, we're going to watch the whole highlights. So Sean and anybody else watching, I'm sorry you're going to have to relive the experience of BYU up by a lot. And we'll see kind of how BYU got themselves set up in this offense and kind of got themselves going from 3. Again, your typical BYU offense, basically, they're running kind of like basically what Gonzaga ran a couple years back. Kind of that pick and roll, and this guy lifts up, and then you have the 2 guys down there. If they want to do something with it, they can. Again, off the screen, guy lifted up. Number 4 for them was absolutely excellent tonight. We got Drew Timme trying to do some things, set a screen for Jalen Suggs, knocking it down. And again, we'll keep watching. Probably just collided knees there. Nembhard obviously played really well tonight. Kispert passing to Ayayi. Ayayi was actually holding him down. I kind of made fun of him a little bit just because I was like, man, Ayayi doesn't really do that much. But he actually did hold it down for them for a little bit, getting you a solid 18 points. So that's definitely good. Again, you see Kispert send that screen, a little double screen action to Yai, hitting it, getting them back in the game. This was competitive. This was close at the beginning. And again, here come the BYU three-pointer, barrage, whatever you want to call it. No, I thought BYU did a pretty good job tonight. I think, like I said, the second half was really what cost them the win, in my opinion. I know that, when you have Jalen Suggs, when you have Kispert, it's one of those things that you just, what can you do about it? I mean, obviously Kispert and Suggs are going to do their thing, but I thought that they had the perfect game plan at the beginning, and then they just weren't able to get it done. And then good back pass by Drew Timme there. Again, not really into the barrage just yet. Big fella hitting it from downtown. Good shot. Way to hit the open shot. When you're open, you just got to shoot it. Again, number 4, pushing it down the court. Holding it down. Look at that. Bang. Again, this is where I think the barrage started to happen. Off the pick and roll. Number 3 was kind of giving them a little bit of trouble. I think, they're icing the ball screen a little bit. But again, they're able to find the open jumper, open shot. The guy's open. They're hitting threes. And this is where I think the barrage started to come happen for them. Again, kind of a little lazy defense from the Gonzaga Bulldogs. I know everyone wants to listen to the volume, but I just want to make sure that we don't get copyright stricken. Again, number 4 was really causing some damage. I just think Gonzaga didn't take him serious. Great pass by Jalen Suggs there. Yai with the great finish. Again, we're probably going to see a little bit more from the first half. Again, I mean, they were able to take advantage of some pick and roll scenarios in this game. I mean, I really like sometimes, as much as I hate BYU just because they're I'm a University of Utah alum, so obviously there's some bad blood between us. But the one thing I will credit them is that their offense is pretty good. I like the way that their coach runs the system. I honestly wouldn't mind if he went to Utah and actually coached for us. But again, that's just my opinion. Good save there. 3-point shot. I mean, they shot 70% from 3-point land in this game. So you could definitely tell that, BYU is really at it. BYU runs a very good offense. I like some of their tweaks that they have to it. Again, getting that mismatch there with number 42. They basically got really good mismatches, and they really took advantage of some of those scenarios. Again, that's a tough shot. Nothing you can do about that one defensively. Again, kind of battle of the big fellas there. To kind of end this half, we kind of look at it again. Number 4 giving them problems a little bit, but that was a missed shot. Not sure if that looked like a travel or not, but again, hitting some threes. The one thing that that'll definitely get you in a game, that'll definitely get you past the game is when you're shooting 70%, that's definitely going to get you more involved, get you going. And again, this is more of like the Kispert barrage here. Great save by Jalen Suggs there. That honestly was kind of a huge turning point for the game, in my opinion, because, if that was a turnover, if Jalen Suggs went out of bounds, BYU's going the other way, and then the momentum might shift a little bit. So I'm glad that Jalen Suggs was able to make a fantastic play there, save it, get Kispert the ball, get him going, and man, that's kind of something that you're looking at here, where Kispert can really make or break a team. Again, nice little elevator screen for Kispert. Bang, hits the 3. Again, let's watch that play again. Beautiful kind of out of bounds play here. I mean, let's look at this again. You got Kispert down here. You got, I believe that's Ayayi, and I can't remember, Namehard. I don't remember his name. But you got Drew Timme kind of acting like he's going to get this from Jalen Suggs. And then, of course, sort of an elevator screen in terms of instead of, Kisper kind of went around because this guy was trying to cheat it. But then you see a nice double screen elevator. Boom. Kisper hits the three. Bang. Great shot. You kind of see a great play drawn up by the coach right there. Getting him a nice open look. Again, come off the screen. Kisper hits it again. I mean, Kisper really made some damage in the first part of that second half. I mean, really looking at Kisper's shot, really looking at what he's able to do. I know BYU is not this like NBA style, but even then, I mean, NBA doesn't really play that much defense. You see Kisper, man, I think he's going to make some team really good in the NBA, depending on where he goes. I mean, he's definitely a top 10 pick in my opinion. We'll kind of look at Bleacher Report and see where they're at. Again, kind of see here, I believe that this was a good shot by number 13. Can't really complain about that one. Then again, you got a good layup. Again, bad transition defense. Great layup there by, I don't even know who that is, but that was a great layup. Great rip and go. Beating Corey Kisper to the rim. Then we got Jalen Suggs. This is where the Jalen Suggs barrage came in. Obviously got blocked there. But you do definitely get to see that in a little bit. Just give it a little bit of time. Great fake by number 3. I mean, again, I know we're just watching the highlights of the game. Again, BYU start like as soon as Corey Kisper gave them a little bit of that momentum to go forward, then you see BYU kind of take back that and start getting their shots, start getting their rhythm going. And again, you look here, kind of trying to set like a flat screen for him, but gets an and one instead. Great decision by number 13. And again, you get to see kind of a nice little team win for Gonzaga here. Again, great bucket. And then this is where I believe Jalen Suggs takes over. Bang, hits the 3. Again, and the one thing that I will notice about Jalen Suggs, obviously having tremendous bounce. He definitely affected number 42 shot twice in this game. That should have been an easy one for number 42, obviously having the small defender, but Intimidator Hall of Fame coming in clutch for Jalen Suggs right here. Gold. Look at that, affecting the shot. Obviously, didn't block it per se, but still affected the shot well enough. And this was a great turning point and one by Kispert. Great momentum play right there for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Again, a miss here. Jalen Suggs, the beautiful pass. Again, I think that was close, but I think you got to give the goaltending on that. And Sean, you're right. If the Gonzaga Bulldogs don't win this championship, I think this will probably be one of the most disappointing non-champion teams of all time. The crazy thing is that they have the same record as that Kentucky team with Karl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, the Harrison twins. So this gives me that vibe if they, but what I like more about this team than anything else is that they're really cohesive. They really work together. It's not one guy does it. It's a whole team, which I really like about Gonzaga is that they're a whole team. They understand that they really get together, and it's just kind of one of those amazing things. This is the nice off the glass there by Jalen Suggs there. Great off the glass. And again, giving them that 2-point lead that they need, especially with 3:55 left in the game. Gonzaga up by 3 now. Again, Jalen Suggs hitting that 3. Great shot. Again, another 3-point shot here. Great read off the screen. Hits the double dagger. And that should basically do it for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. That was a great 3-pointer. I know that BYU will probably be disappointed in this game because they definitely had a shot. But ultimately, I think they just fell through a little bit with the way that some of the things went on in that game. Again, Drew Timme, great finish. And again, Gonzaga definitely was going to win this. No doubt about it. Again, we see number 4 there probably doing his best to get them back in there, but ultimately fell short. 10 points. And then again, we'll show Sean the threes because he really likes them so much. Again, that's off the glass. We'll show him these threes again. Great play there. Again, that's just great play. The defender kind of slept a little bit, didn't think that Jalen Suggs was going to pull that, and obviously did. Again, great read off the screen. Again, the one thing that sucks about icing the ball screen is that look how far down the defender is, especially when it comes to Jalen Suggs. I understand that you're not trying to give up the drive for Jalen, but again, I guess you live with that because Jalen's not the best three-point shooter. Obviously, he's improved, but definitely not the best three-point shooter. And again, you see that able to kind of play with Drew Timme there, and it's basically a one-on-two scenario in this sequence. I mean, again, watch the sequence here. Again, like I said, Drew Timme's guys all the way down here playing that ice ball screen, basically trying to not give anything away. Basically, a little bit sag off the defending, and again, try and force that baseline drive for him to go back in there. And again, a little bit slow. Jalen Suggs with a great, get into the shooter's pocket, great jump shot, hits it. And that's basically ball game. I mean, Jalen Suggs really called game right there, and that's a great shot. And again, Gonzaga right now is playing their best basketball at the moment. Let me look at Bleacher Report. We'll kind of look at the mock draft from them really quick. Let me pull this up. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find the... I think this might be at the top 50 prospects right now. And again, we'll go all the way to, yeah. So this is it right here. This is kind of his college big board really quick from Wasserman, I believe is the person's name. Yeah, Jonathan Wasserman. Again, looking at the list that he has here, Cade Cunningham obviously being number one. He actually has a game tomorrow at 11:30, if I'm not mistaken, against Iowa State. So that should be a fun one to watch if you are interested in that. And then you got Jalen Suggs. Again, Jalen Suggs is, it's not worth deep diving into Jalen Suggs' numbers given his role on the Gonzaga loaded team of veterans, consistent blowouts the team involved in. He's the full package of athleticism, pull up. He doubles as the lead guard and energizer, capable of running an offense and taking over or impacting games with hustle and competitiveness. There's a reason to hesitate before buying the all-star potential is because he has not been shooting or making many threes relative to most guards prospects. 1.3 three-pointers made, but he also hasn't needed to, given the knack of getting downhill and Gonzaga's dominance inside. At 6'4", Jalen Suggs actually has more finished at the rim and dunks than Cade Cunningham at 35 and 7 respectively, obviously for the numbers that they just mentioned. And the eye test results on Suggs' shooting release remain encouraging. He ranks 89th percentile on dribble jumpers and hitting 75% of his free throws. And again, I really like Jalen Suggs. I think he's going to be a tremendous talent. What I really like I said, what I like about him is not only his scoring ability, but more of his passing. Like the fact that playing a quarterback position in high school kind of set him up for this. And I really like the fact that he, especially in that play that I just showed you, the hustle play to get Kispert the ball and really, create basically a game-changing play. Again, Gonzaga was down 10 at this point where Jalen Suggs made the save. Obviously, lost the ball trying to go up for the drive, but still was able to find enough space and enough pressure to get the ball right to Kispert. And Kispert, he does what he does and hits that three-point shot. And again, I really like his ability. I think he's a real game changer. And like Wasserman says, I do think he has all-star potential. Depending on what team he goes to, I think he can make a tremendous impact on that team. What I really like about him, like I said, not only the energizing, not only the hustle, but again, the ability to find the open man, the ability to create moments, and especially in really special occasions. LeBron James does this really well, and I think Jalen Suggs kind of has that in him, which is to create something out of nothing, which is to create a moment And that's kind of what I said here. What did Minnesota trade for those first round picks for Golden State? That was the D'Angelo Russell trade, Sean. So that was it's a protected first round pick, so it's top 3 protected. So potentially, by the way the record is, I think Minnesota will probably more than likely keep that pick for this year. But I think next year I think it's top 10, and then so on and so forth until it's unprotected. So it's protected so far, Sean. So it's not going to be, unless Minnesota, somehow gets better in these next couple of weeks. I think Minnesota is going to more than likely end up keeping the pick. And what the thing that frustrated me the most is I think that, you kind of saw it at what Wasserman was talking about. I really thought that LaMelo Ball would have been a great fit in Minnesota. I talked about this with my boy Brad. He kind of talked me out of it, but I really do like the fact that LaMelo Ball should have been arguably the number 1 pick. And, Minnesota better cross their fingers and hopefully they land a top 3 pick, because look, you're getting the ability to draft number 1 or number 2 pick to get that point guard that you need. I love D'Angelo Russell. I think he's good, but unfortunately, I don't think he's as good as these 2 guys in Cade Cunningham and Jalen Suggs going into the future. I know, Sean, you're not a huge fan of the Minnesota Timberwolves. You're not a fan of Karl-Anthony Towns, but if there's any player that was able to get something out of to get out of there, or something out of Karl-Anthony Towns, I think it's either Jalen Suggs or Cade Cunningham. And so Minnesota, like I said, they better pray their lucky stars that they get a player in Jalen Suggs or Cade Cunningham. Because again, I think that he's really that good. I think both these guys are really that good. So it will be interesting to see what they decide to do in that predicament. Number 3, he has Evan Mobley. I'm not sure what the Pac-12 is looking like for their championship games. NBA, let's look at that really quick. Not NBA. Basketball. Let me use some of my brain cells really quick. So we look at USC, we look at Oregon, they're the number 1, number 2 seed. I believe Utah is somewhere down the line. And again, I don't even want to see this article. How good can Utah be in the Pac-12 tournament? I don't think so. I know that they have a decent team. I mean, this is what it's going to shape up to be. Oregon, USC, the number 2 seed. So I believe on Thursday, we'll actually, as a team, we'll look to see how USC does. We'll look to see what the whole hype and the whole deal is with an Evan Mobley. And kind of look at to see what he adds to the team. Obviously, possesses, coordination with ball, does a lot of things. But, can he switch? Is he a rim protector? That's going to be the biggest thing for a guy like Evan Mobley. Again, Jalen Green, Kuminga. I still think that Kuminga would be a little bit higher than Jalen Green, but again, can't hate on Jalen Green being that number 4. I haven't really seen that much of USC, to be honest with you. Buck Knight, I haven't seen much of him. I haven't seen much of Keon Johnson. I know that he's also another highly talented prospect. Jalen Johnson, obviously falling a lot in stock because he decided. I know that he's also another highly talented. Jalen Johnson, obviously falling a lot in stock because he decided not to play for Duke, but just because Duke in general just hasn't been playing that well, and the ACC right now is in a state of emergency when it comes to getting back to basketball dominance. Because if Duke's not on top, then I think the ACC as a whole conference just looks really weak. So we'll see how that looks right there. We got Zaire Williams at number 9. I want to see what he does. I'm not sure when he plays. We can look at the Pac-12 tournament as well. Stanford plays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be very interested to look at that game against California. I want to see how Zaire does. Obviously, a graduate of the Sierra Canyon Academy with Bronny James and Zaire Wade as Boston Jr. as well. I mean, there's so many players in that Sierra Canyon that I kind of want to see how that's going to look like in the near future. There again, we're looking at Zaire. Hopefully, we get a Zaire that will be able to take over the game. And again, Stanford is like a late lottery. Moses Moody, haven't seen too much of him. Looking forward to looking at them. And then, of course, you got Scotty Barnes, again, another highly talented prospect. You got Jade Springer, Kai Jones. I'm not sure if I really trust the Texas center at this point. Again, Corey Kispert at 18, I think that might be a little too low for him. I know that, like, basically he's just the 3-point guy and, basically decision making and defensive IQ. I think this guy is also a really good player. I know that he doesn't get the respect he deserves, but I really do like his ability. I do like his game. And I'm not sure why, he's not really getting the opportunities that I think that a lot of teams are looking at. I know that other stuff, but I think that he could do some damage. I really do. And so we'll see what happens with it. And again, we got some people in the chat chilling with us on the Charge Podcast on Twitch. So make sure you go and check that out as well. Josh Christopher, I like him. I think that he's also another underrated player. Davin Mitchell, haven't seen too much of him. Excuse me. And again, so many other players, you got Marcus Becker, if I'm not mistaken. And again, you look at so many of these guys coming into the league. But again, the main, of course, is Jalen Suggs at number 2 in terms of prospect. Again, this guy is the real deal. Sean, I think it's just talking about just talent-wise. I think when it comes to the draft, it's a little bit different. You're drafting more for needs. This is like the big board where this person, Wasserman, sees the talent in terms of like, who's the best player available at the moment. Like if you had to rank the players, not based on what the teams need, but more so on the player's ability. I do think that Kispert at 18 is a little bit low. I think it would at least be top 15. So it's interesting to see that he is that low. This list talks about, Jalen, or I should say Zaire Williams, again, kind of didn't really do too much. And we'll see what he's able to do. I'm really interested to see how he does in the NBA and looking to see where he goes as far as that sort of whole scenario. And again, this whole tournament is a prove it for a lot of these guys. The one thing I need to see, can Zaire get to the tournament? Can Johnson's going to make it? But I'm not sure where Connecticut is at the moment, but can a lot of these teams so far? And I'm not sure. Let me look to see if there is a mock NCAA bracket and seeing if that there is kind of like the bracketology, seeing where everything's going. Again, first 4 looks like it's going to be Xavier, VCU. Some people have Boise State and Drake, Appalachian State, North Carolina, AT&T, North Dakota State, and Hartford. And again, let me see who the first 4 out are for these teams. The first 4 out, they got St. Louis, Syracuse, Ole Miss, and Utah State. Again, we can look at the team so far and kind of look to see where people have it. Again, they have Gonzaga at number 1, Baylor at number 1, Illinois at number 1, and Michigan at number 1. And again, for Pac-12 teams, you don't really have that many.
Conference tournaments. Which one to you?
Oh, do I have commercial noise on? Hold up. Ugh. Get out of here, CBS. CBS is the worst, in my opinion. I really hate CBS for that. But anyway, I don't think I see Stanford in here. So Stanford is going to have to pull off a miracle, in my opinion. They're going to have to pull off basically a miracle to get in. I mean, they're gonna have to win out. Super worse. Can you hear it still? Hopefully it's not making too much noise. I really hate that. Anyway. Oh, CBS is the super worst. I mean, they are the super worst. But anyway, again, like I said, Stanford has to make a big run in that. Again, do I see that happening? I'm not sure. USC is in the tournament. I just think that they're really meant... They really need to make a big push, especially for Zaire. I think that this would actually be a huge turning point for Zaire Williams if he was able to make the tournament. And I think Stanford might have the ability to do it, but again, it's going to be a huge if and or but to see if they can make it. And again, we'll see what happens in this scenario. I would love to see them make the tournament because, again, I do think that they have the ability to at least make some damage, make some noise in there. And we'll see what happens in there. And again, let me just double check to make sure that they're not in there. And And again, some of the teams that I think could be dangerous in this tournament, and again, I haven't really seen too much. I know, Sean, you're going to disagree with me with this one, but I do think that BYU could be a dangerous team in that side of the bracket for any team. I mean, this conference, at least in the second, or at least in this fourth bracket, it looks like, depending on how you want to go west, north, east, south, I think BYU could make some damage in this. I mean, Kansas, I'm not really too impressed with. North Carolina, definitely not impressed with that team. Southern Utah, shout out to Southern Utah. I know one of my old coworkers is the videographer, not videographer. I guess he is the videographer. He does a lot of the highlight films for Southern Utah, so shout out to him for McKay. Great highlight guy. If you want to see some cool highlight stuff, definitely look at that. Definitely look at the Southern Utah stuff. He's very good at that. They definitely earned their ticket into the NCAA tournament. And again, I don't really see anybody too dangerous in this besides maybe Michigan and BYU. I think those two in this bracket definitely look the most dangerous. And again, this is just a prediction bracket. This isn't the actual bracket so far. And I think BYU, the way that they shoot the ball, if BYU, I think they're going to go to the drawing board, Sean. They saw what they did against you guys in the first half, and I think they're going to try and replicate that for the rest of their games. I think they got some sort of secret sauce in there. Again, a dangerous 8th seed. I definitely look at BYU being a dangerous team going into the tournament. And then we can look at the other side for the Illinois side. Unless I see something out of, I think Michigan State obviously always has a chance. I think Alabama looking pretty good right now with their offense, the way that they run I believe they run like a 5-out system that's actually pretty intricate. So I would love to watch them a little bit more. Connecticut looks like they're in the tournament. So the kid that we talked about earlier, James Bucknight or Booknight, I can't remember how you pronounce his name, but he's definitely going to be a person that you could definitely see in this tournament, really do some damage. We'll see what happens with him. Again, we got Villanova, always a danger in any conference, any team. And then we go to the side of Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga, to be honest with you, I think they have the toughest. They definitely have one of the toughest sides so far. If this is how the bracket turns out, of course. If this is how the bracket turns out, let me move it over for you people so you can see. I think Gonzaga has the toughest. I mean, you have Oklahoma, definitely a dangerous team. Texas, looking to be a dangerous team. Let me see. Did Oklahoma State make the tournament? Oklahoma State did make the tournament. Okay, good. So we'll definitely see some Cade Cunningham no matter the outcome of tomorrow's game. Again, you have Wisconsin, a dangerous team. Western Kentucky. People are going to sleep on Western Kentucky. I'd recommend that you don't. That is going to be one of my guarantees, as Charles Barkley would like to say. I think that they're going to do some damage. I watched them in the preseason. I watched them in the tournament that they played at the beginning of the season. I like Western Kentucky to move on to the next round. Obviously, they're going to make they're going to be 32-16. I think they're going to definitely be 32. I definitely like their chances against West Virginia if that's the matchup. Texas, again, a dangerous team. Iowa with Luke Garza. It's interesting to see that Luke Garza and Gonzaga are on the same side. Everyone wants to see that. We'll see what happens there. Again, this to me, like, Sean, if this is the way that the bracket is going to turn out for you guys, I really think that this is probably the toughest bracket that I think I see for you guys. I think that this is way too hard, man. I think the way that there's a bunch of teams in this tournament, especially on that first side, that I just look at it and I'm like, they definitely have some stiff competition. Compared to the other sides, I'm not really too. I think Baylor has probably the clear advantage in this start of the bracket. You have Ohio State. Yeah, they're a good team. I like them. But other than that, I'm not really convinced with any of these other teams. Damn. UCLA's 11? Sorry, I just want to see where Stanford finished. Sorry to kind of get all this in. Actually, I think I have it. Do I have it here? No. Let's just do Pac-12 championship basketball. Just look at that really quick. Again, they finished 6th, so maybe they're just out of it, but I need to see if Arizona's in there. If Arizona's in there, I'm going to be kind of crazy. I think it might be just top 4. Let me just double check. And again, we're looking at a very, very talented roster. I kind of want to see what the teams are looking like. I wish they would do it by conference. I would like to actually see it by conference. Oh man, I want St. John's to do so well, man, but they've been kind of disappointing me for the last couple of years, man. I wish they would do so much better, but again, it is what it is at this point. Let me see really quick. I think it might just be the top three, right? So you got UCLA. Where did UCLA finish in this? They finished 4. So it looks like it's the top 4 teams. Obviously, it sucks for Arizona and Stanford, but I think Stanford needs to go on a run here if they are to catch with Arizona and all this other stuff, getting higher in the seed for the tournament. Again, the reason why I want them in is because I want to see what Zaire Williams is all about. Can Zaire Williams and the Stanford Cardinals lead this team to the tournament? Again, it's going to be a tough road ahead of them, and I know I'm getting a little bit off track when talking about Gonzaga, but I just think Gonzaga's too good. Again, the only thing that can really, in my opinion, stop Gonzaga is this sort of mental hurdle that it seems like Mark Fuse gets in the tournament. It seems like whenever I watch them play, especially in the last year where they played North Carolina, it was like I really expect a little bit more from Gonzaga, and hopefully with the addition of Jalen Suggs, with an older Kisper, with the Drew Timme, with all these other players, they can finally get over that hump. Because to be honest with you, I'm tired of my friends complaining about Gonzaga not winning the championship. So hopefully they're able to get to that. Hopefully they're able to get to that championship game and actually win it this time. Again, when looking at their side of the bracket in a very mock draft sense, they probably have the hardest side. And I'm not really too sure what to make of it. Again, I could see Iowa doing really well. I could see Texas, even Oregon. I know they're not the best team in this tournament. Western Kentucky, even Wisconsin. Let's not sleep on Wisconsin either. I think Wisconsin also has some ability as well. I mean, we look at Wisconsin, just kind of looking at their team. Let me just see what's going on here. Again, I do apologize for some background noise. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it or not, but again, I think that this might wrap it up a little bit. Obviously, we're gonna have to wait until the official tournament's done. We still have a lot of conferences to go. We have the ACC, we got the Big West, we got the MAC championship, we got the Southland, and of course, Pac-12 as well, and many other conference tournaments that we need to look at as in terms of that. Again, we got the Big East, the Big Sky, many of these tournaments to see who is actually going to make the tournament. And, Duke stays alive, man. Duke is able to keep themselves in the tournament. I know Duke is looking at it, but again, the ACC to me is not one of the best conferences right now. Again, we look at their tournament. We saw that Miami beat Pittsburgh. We saw Duke beat Boston College, 14-16 for Boston College. That's not a good sign. And again, we'll see what happens. Obviously, Notre Dame and Wake Forest probably had the game of the night with a 3-point shot. And again, this I think is kind of do it here for the Charge, ladies and gentlemen. Do appreciate you guys watching here. Again, this NCAA tournament, this college basketball season is going to be a tremendous one. I know a lot of people are going to say that the tournament is dead. I know that, you have people on Fox Sports talking about it, that no one will go to it. But again, I think that whenever you have a tournament style type of game where, you have your conference championships and then you have the big one, I think that you're always going to enjoy basketball, no matter what it is, whether it's college, whether it's NBA. I just think that this format works so well because, again, it's single elimination. And I think that people, they really need to, I think that the NCAA is an exciting time. It's an exciting sport. Again, the regular season can be a little iffy just because there's so many games. It's not really high stake. But once you start putting the tournament involved, especially with the conference championships, trying to get teams that are, likely not to get in, somehow get in, this to me is going to be a great championship game. This is going to be a great championship season. And I look forward to watching all the championships games this Thursday and Friday as the season continues to move on. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining me here on The Charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and basketball beginnings as we transition to the background. Again, appreciate each and every one of you for joining. Look forward to hearing from each and every one of you in the comment section down below. Let me know, like I said, who you think is going to win the NCAA championship. Is it the Gonzaga Bulldogs? Is it another team? And also, what do you guys make of the NBA draft prospects in this tournament? Again, we have so many of them. Evan Mobley is projected to be in there. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Suggs, Luke Garza, so many more talented players in this tournament. I look forward to watching it. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying watching this NCAA tournament as we take a little bit of a break from NBA basketball as it returns, I believe, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.